Hello, everyone. I'm Anthony Rose. I'm founder and CEO at SeedLegals. Once upon a time, I used to head up BBC iPlayer. That seems like a lifetime ago now. Then after the BBC, I built a startup, sold it, built another startup, sold it, invested in a couple, got tired of paying lawyers, met my co-founder, Laurent, genius ex-VC and serial angel investor, started SeedLegals in late 2016, and we're now 150 people.
Wow.
About 1 in 3 of all early stage funding rounds in the UK is now done on SeedLegals. And as part of that, I talk to a lot of founders. I see a lot of pitch decks, and I see lots of founders on their journey. Some go better than others, and I'm delighted to share my experiences so that you can get there faster.
So what were you like at school?
I was probably more the reclusive person at school, I must say. So when I was a kid, I was into computers at a very early age, before computers were a thing. Like I had like the world's first computers pre-Apple. I built my own computer.
Wow.
Um, and actually, for me, I like nothing more, don't know if this is good or bad, than to head home as soon as possible after school and get back to designing electronics. So when I was at school, I had my own electronics business
Wow.
and built circuit boards, which I sold to Apple in South Africa, and data loggers that would go down mines and the works. So I guess I was an entrepreneur before, startups were a thing, really. This was quite a few years ago.
What age was this?
I was 16 or
Wow.
so, maybe even 15. This was like in the 1980s, so way back. So, I mean, startups, there was no such thing as, fundraising for startups back then. There was no government tax incentives. I mean, it was South Africa. So I think one of the interesting things that I learned quite quickly that you had to run it as a proper business. In other words, you have to make enough
Make
money
some
to
money.
cover your expenses because no one's just going to give you £500,000. And I think that's been a very good discipline since then.
Can I ask, what is it that drives you? Because everything you've just said, it's almost where I'm guessing there's a desire to problem solve and almost have an impact. Or are you one of these people where you seek out, you know, do you, I was going to say, do you lose interest in things quickly, but do you see a problem and think, I could solve that?
And I think what's in common is uh, what I love to do is build cool stuff.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
like to start with a problem and not know at all how to get there. It's a little bit like being dropped on the desert island, and you know that you have to build a hut or the tigers will eat you and you will die without water. And you kind of that problem to solve, and you have no idea how to get to the solution. But I actually really like that. And everything else in a startup is like stuff you have to do that lets you do that. And to some extent, it doesn't matter what the problem space is, whether it's a legal or video or audio, you're still starting with an idea, and then you
Mhm.
need to build it, build the team, get investment and all the things around it. And that's really the piece that I really enjoy.